Hi, and today we are going to discuss how to write a winning CV. If this is your first CV and you have not written a CV before, this is the right place for you. So today I'm going to teach you how to create your first resume and first CV in such a manner that gets you hired right away. So even if you have no experience, no problem. We are going to make and to teach you how to write a CV that stands out. And again, this series is brought to you by Skills Zahira, and I'm Dr. Sadaf Zishan. So, what makes a CV stand out? The structure should be very simple, clear, and should be properly formatted. Um, the CV that you're writing should be tailored according to your job. This means that when you get an advertisement and if they specified certain traits and certain qualities that they need from the hired candidate, make sure to include all those qualities and all those traits in your CV before sending it. So you need to highlight your strengths in that CV. Even if you have no prior experience, you still have must have done some projects or learned some skills. So you need to use that and highlight your strengths in your CV. Furthermore, there should be no spelling errors, no grammatical errors in your CV. That is a big put off. So for a beginner CV, the essential sections should be your name and contact number and other information. That can include your phone number, your email, your home address, your LinkedIn account, all those things. Then you need to have a very clear objective, career objective summary or 2 lines or 2 or 3 lines which really bring out your motivation and enthusiasm. You need to tell about your education, your place and your CGP. You need to talk about your skills. Furthermore, you need to talk about your projects, internships, any certifications or awards or competitions that you have participated or won in, your extracurricular activities, but make sure these things are related or complementing the job requirement, not something which is just filling the area. And finally, you can also opt to write your references. Writing a strong career objective. Now, the first thing after your name and your contact will be a strong career objective, 2, 3 lines. Now, this is very important because this is going to show how enthusiastic and how relevant you are to the offered job. So make sure your career objective has two very important things. It brings out the energy and brings out the enthusiasm uh, of the candidate that who's writing this. And also, the second very important thing is that it should bring out the relevance to the job. So I've quoted some examples just to give you a brief idea. So in the first example, you can see motivated computer science graduate seeking an entry-level role to apply problem solving and programming skills in a dynamic tech environment. So if it's a beginner's job, so you see use word like motivated, detail oriented, enthusiastic, that gauges and brings out the energy of the student. And the latter half, the second half, you can bring out uh, the relevance to the applied job. So the first one you can see is related to a computer science graduate. The second one, you can see detail-oriented mechanical engineering graduates seeking an entry-level position to apply for CAD design and thermal analytical skills in a manufacturing or product development environment. So you can see in this one, this is a career objective of a mechanical engineer who's most probably applying for a CAD design related job or thermal analytical skill job in a manufacturing area. So the second part addresses that part. Let's look at some other examples. Enthusiastic electrical engineering graduate aiming to contribute to energy efficient and automation projects by leveraging circuit design and simulation skills. See, so again, you can see the first half bring out that energy of the fresh graduate, and the second half cater to the job requirement that fulfills that area. Again, a motivated software engineering graduate with strong problem-solving skills and proficiency in Python and Java, looking to build scalable solutions in tech-driven organization. So most probably this is for a CV, looking for a job for maybe the job requirement is asking for a Python coding in a software house maybe. So any job requirement, any job advertisement that you're applying for, um, make sure that your career objective addresses not directly but indirectly does sort of complement that job requirement. And lastly, detail-driven pharmacy graduate aiming to start a career in pharmaceutical manufacturing and quality assurance with strong academic training in GMP and drug formulation. So maybe it's a job for a drug formulation company. And this caters to the second half. And the first half, again, use some words which tells that person is driven and, is motivated. Secondly, we are going to highlight the education and the academics. For fresh graduate, your education and academics background is going to be important. So you're going to start with the most recent education first. So if you have done your university education is going to come first, then your college education, and then your school education. So the best way to mention is first you mention the degree, then the institution, then your CGPA or the percentage, and then which years did you do that degree in. So an example over here is BSc in computer science. You can mention the name of the university, your CGPA. For example, if you have a very good CGPA, mention that, highlight that. If you were in the dean's list, you can also mention that. And then the year in which you completed during which you completed your degree. Now, this part is also the part that follows your education is also very important, because this is going to help the job seeker the shortlist which traits you have, which are going to help shortlist your skills and your abilities. So project, internship, and freelance work, any work, any achievements that you have, you can mention that over here. So you're going to add your academic or personal projects, even if you have been doing some freelance work, do mention that. Do mention your important projects that complement, like very basic or uh, very common projects which do not complement your job requirements. You can easily skip that, but do make sure in a fresher CV you should have at least 3 to 4 important projects, internships, freelancing altogether, not 3 projects alone, but projects, internships, freelancing, so that it can give an idea that you have been working and developing and you are capable of actually completing a project. This is the best way to write your projects, internships, and freelancing work is that you're going to mention the role um, uh, that you have been playing in that project, which tools have you mastered, and what have you learned during that project. And a very important thing is the outcome. So what was the end result of that project or internship or freelancing work? Now, the best thing is that your outcome should be quantitative. This means that if you can add numbers, for example, this project resulted in 200 people signing up for XYZ, or it resulted in generating 10,000 rupees in funding. So any quantitative outcome is usually is a bonus. It's a plus. The best way to write this is first you write the title of what your project was, e-commerce website project, for example, the tools that you used in this project. It can be, again, you can use maybe Python, CSS, HTML, any software, or in case of, let's suppose, engineering, you have used a software, a CAD software, sorry, SolidWorks, maybe Creo, ANSYS, MATLAB. So any tools that you have been using during the project, you do mention that. that is going to go in your favor, especially if it is also required in the job. For example, if your job requires use of Python and you have a project which has used Python, so it is going to definitely go in your favor. Then lastly, going to mention the outcome that you designed a fully functional website with a payment gateway. And if you can uh, make it quantitative, even better. So in the next slide, you can see you will mention the skills and certifications. This is going to add in all your hard skills and software skills. So mention not just the certifications that you've done or the tools that you've learned, but also the soft skills that you are good at, maybe leadership, leading a project, teamwork, time management, communication skills, all those soft skills which could benefit you or is required, especially in the job that you are um, applying for. Do go for that. So you can also combine skills and certification into one line. So if you do not have a very large set skills of hardware or tools, you can also combine and neatly write them into one skills. For example, you can see in under the skills and certification example, I've written Python, Excel, Canva, AutoCAD. Then use separators or commas. It's better to use a separator, not just the commas, to differentiate between different sections if you're writing especially in one line. So first you can go with the tools, then you can go with the soft skills, teamwork, time management, problem solving, and then you can go with the certifications like certified in Google, data analytics, AutoCAD, and you can also mention where you learned them from. So make sure this section is very clear and readable. Don't cramp it too much. Don't make it too complicated or overcrowded. That is not going to go in your favor. Make sure everything is systematic, clear, readable, and simple. And only include relevant skills. Don't say reading books or going for jogging and stuff. Don't mention any such skills which is not complementing or not formal enough to be included in your CV. This is going to make you sound non-serious. So another thing that is going to be important in your CV is how to format your CV and how to avoid some mistakes. So for a beginner CV, make sure your CV is one page only, unless you've done extraordinary amount of work. A beginner CV should be clear, to the point, simple, yet very relevant. Make sure the font that you use is a professional font. Don't use very fancy, curvy, stylish fonts. That is not going to make you look professional at all. So try to use professional fonts like uh, Calibri maybe, or any formal font that you think is going to complement your CV. The mistakes to avoid is number one, first of all, you are not going to use casual language. This is a professional CV. You're applying for a job. So make sure your CV has a very direct professional tone to it. There should be no spelling mistakes and grammatical errors. That is definitely a put off, and that can result in giving you a very casual attitude that represents you in a very casual way that you did not proofread your work or your CV. Thirdly, you should avoid fancy colors and graphics. Don't use very bright or neon colors, fluorescent colors. That is going to make you look non-professional, unless you're applying for obviously a very creative job or creative arts. But for a STEM field or any professional field, which is especially for your first job. I would highly recommend don't go too bold with your colors and keep it professional and safe. Then do not go for very fancy, similar. Don't go very fancy templates and just keep it very simple, professional. Okay, so here is one sample CV that I have pasted here and made for you, especially for a beginner. This is a beginner CV. Just to give you an idea how a one-page CV looks like. This is a one-page A4 size CV. You can pause it and you can look at the contents of it. So it starts with the name, contact, and then you have a very clear objective, education. Then you can go with skills and certification, academic projects. Now, please mention your achievements and awards, co-curricular activities. You can also, if the job requirement is of multiple language or a foreign state, maybe you can also add the languages which you are proficient in. And finally, in the end, you can just say you will provide references on need, or you can, if you have a solid your reference that you can give and add also. So I hope this gives you an idea of how to write your first CV and how to excel in that. So now that you have learned the basic tips, now it's your turn to use these tips to build your own CV and take your first step towards landing your dream job. All the best, and we are going to bring you more such content from Skills Zahira. Like and subscribe for more such content. Thank you very much.